The early days of President Trump's second term have been marked by a flurry of executive actions, signaling a decisive shift in the country's political landscape. Among these, one executive order in particular has sent shockwaves through the nation, a sweeping freeze on federal funding for programs deemed contrary to the administration's agenda. This bold move, met with both fervent support and fierce opposition, has thrust the country into a state of uncertainty, raising questions about the balance of power, the rule of law, and the future direction of American society. The order, signed just days after the inauguration, targets a range of social policies that have been flashpoints in the nation's ongoing culture wars. By leveraging the power of the purse, the administration aims to effectively dismantle these initiatives, sending a clear message about its priorities and its commitment to rolling back the policies of the previous administration. The immediate impact of the funding freeze has been profound, throwing countless programs and agencies into disarray. From healthcare providers to environmental organizations, recipients of federal funds are now grappling with the uncertainty of their financial future, forced to make difficult decisions about staffing, services, and their ability to fulfill their missions. This executive order, with its sweeping scope and immediate impact, has ignited a firestorm of controversy, exposing the deep divisions that continue to fracture the nation. As legal challenges mount, and the political battle lines are drawn, the stage is set for a protracted struggle over the soul of America. The executive order's most potent weapon is its ability to disrupt the flow of federal funds, effectively crippling programs deemed undesirable by the administration. By targeting specific policy areas, the order seeks to starve these initiatives of resources, hindering their implementation and ultimately rendering them ineffective. This tactic, while not unprecedented, represents a significant escalation in the use of executive power, raising concerns about the erosion of democratic norms and the potential for abuse. Critics argue that this move circumvents the legislative process, bypassing Congress and undermining its role in appropriating funds and setting national priorities. The funding freeze has cast a wide net, impacting a diverse array of programs and agencies. Among those most affected are initiatives related to diversity, equity and inclusion, the Green New Deal, and transgender rights. These policy areas, long championed by progressive activists and enshrined in law and executive orders under the previous administration, now find themselves in the crosshairs of the new regime. The administration's decision to target these specific areas is no accident. They represent key battlegrounds in the culture wars that have come to define American politics, touching on issues of race, gender, climate change, and the role of government. By defunding these initiatives, the administration seeks to appease its base, signaling its commitment to a more conservative agenda. Diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives once hailed as essential tools for creating a more just and equitable society are now facing an existential threat. The funding freeze has thrown these programs into turmoil, jeopardizing years of progress and raising concerns about a resurgence of discrimination and inequality. DEI programs encompass a wide range of efforts aimed at promoting representation, opportunity, and fairness across all sectors of society. From government agencies to educational institutions to private businesses, these initiatives have sought to dismantle systemic barriers and create a more inclusive environment for historically marginalized groups. The impact of the funding freeze on DEI programs has been swift and severe. Many organizations, now stripped of crucial resources, are facing difficult choices about staffing, programming, and their ability to continue their work. The loss of these programs could have far-reaching consequences, eroding hard-won gains in diversity and inclusion.
The administration's justification for targeting DEI initiatives centers on the claim that they promote divisive concepts and reverse discrimination.
Critics, however, argue that this rhetoric is a thinly veiled attempt to stifle progress toward racial and social justice, emboldening those who seek to maintain the status quo. The Green New Deal, a sweeping proposal to address climate change and economic inequality, has been dealt a significant blow by the funding freeze. The ambitious plan, championed by progressive Democrats, aimed to transition the United States to a clean energy economy while creating jobs and investing in marginalized communities. The Green New Deal, while never fully embraced by Congress, had gained significant traction in the public consciousness, galvanizing a new generation of activists and influencing policy discussions at all levels of government. The funding freeze, however, has thrown a wrench into these efforts, signaling a stark reversal in the nation's approach to climate change. The impact of the funding freeze on climate action is likely to be profound. Research grants, clean energy projects, and environmental justice initiatives are all facing significant cuts, jeopardizing years of progress and undermining the nation's ability to address the urgent threat of climate change.
The administration's decision to target the Green New Deal reflects its skepticism of climate science and its commitment to fossil fuels. Critics argue that this short-sighted approach will have devastating consequences for the planet and future generations, leaving the United States behind in the global race to combat climate change.
The executive order's targeting of transgender rights represents a significant setback for the LGBTQ+ community, jeopardizing hard-won protections and creating a climate of fear and uncertainty.
The order's provisions, aimed at rolling back recognition and support for transgender individuals, have been met with widespread condemnation from civil rights groups and LGBTQ+ advocates.
Among the most controversial aspects of the executive order is its directive to federal agencies to define gender based on biological sex at birth, effectively erasing the legal recognition of transgender individuals.
This move has far-reaching implications impacting access to healthcare, education, employment, and even basic identification documents.
The order also targets transgender youth, prohibiting federal funding for gender-affirming care and restricting access to school sports and facilities.
This attack on transgender youth, already a vulnerable population, has been met with particular outrage, with critics accusing the administration of using children as pawns in its political agenda.
The administration's actions on transgender rights represent a significant departure from the previous administration's stance of inclusivity and acceptance.
The executive order, fueled by a combination of conservative ideology and anti-transgender sentiment, seeks to push transgender individuals back into the shadows, denying their basic rights and dignity. The legal battles are intensifying, with multiple lawsuits being filed across the country.
This is unprecedented. The sheer number of cases being brought forward is staggering, and it's creating a chaotic legal landscape.
Each side is gearing up for a prolonged fight, with significant implications for the future.
Absolutely. This isn't just about individual cases, it's about setting legal precedents that could shape policy for years to come.
The stakes couldn't be higher, and everyone is watching closely. Amidst the turmoil, efforts to consolidate power are becoming more apparent.
You know, it's like they're doubling down on their core supporters. It's a risky move, but honestly, it seems to be working for them.
The strategy is clear. Energize the base, even if it means further polarizing the nation.
Yeah, and it's definitely causing more division. People are really digging in their heels on both sides.
The political landscape is shifting rapidly, and the consequences are yet to be fully understood. The country is grappling with unprecedented levels of uncertainty and division.
This is a critical moment. The divisions we're seeing now are deeper than ever, and they're affecting every aspect of society.
The impact is being felt in communities, workplaces, and even within families.
Indeed, the polarization is not just political, it's personal. People are finding it harder to engage in civil discourse.
As the nation navigates these turbulent times, the path forward remains unclear. The United States stands at a pivotal juncture. The choices made in the coming months will define the nation's trajectory for years to come. With so much at stake, the eyes of the world are fixed on America, waiting to see what path it will choose. The journey ahead is fraught with challenges, but also with opportunities for renewal and unity.